Is it true? Did it actually happen, Lucas? Did it happen this week? Did we drop the puck? Did we play hockey? Are we really doing this? I can't believe it. The world is going back to its right place. We are playing hockey again. The best sport in the world is back, and the best show in the world is here to cover all that happened this weekend. Welcome to the Dan K Show. Dan K Show fans, a big week and a lot of big things going on. Thing number one, it's time to get shopping, folks. We got ourselves a nice little Dan K shopping link, Lucas, that we're working on right here. An upgrade, an update to the Dan K store. For now, you can still head on to www.dankshow.com and hit our little old-time shop, but we got some new, fresh things coming your way soon. Thing number two, puck drop. The puck drop this weekend. We had games out in the mountain region. We had games down in the southeast, down in Florida. Hockey taking back over the nation here. We are so excited, and we got all of it to talk about. And thing number three, I said the Rush were going to be a wagon this year. And oh, my Lanta Lucas, if they were on the Oregon Trail, they'd get the whole family, all the supplies and all the goods over there with no problems, no issues, no trials, no tribulations. This is an absolute, I'll tell you what, this is the Veruca Salt weekend for the Charlotte Rush because they got the golden egg there, Lucas. Daddy, I want a golden egg and I want it now. Yes, I just did a Veruca Salt impression because we're in mid-season form. With that, I look to my right because it's time to talk hockey, talk Tampa Bay Juniors, putting up touchdowns and extra points, talk Charlotte Rush, not giving up anything, talk Carolina Junior Canes going into enemy territory and making things happen, talk Northern Colorado Eagles saying caw to the entire USPHL in their opening weekend, and the only man who can do that with me, the only man who knows more than Dan K about the USPHL landscape, and he's the only man who can beat me at NASCAR Heat 5. It's Lucas Jones. What's going on, Lucas?
Dan, I need to get back into NASCAR. There has been a lot of work going on. I know we chatted a little bit this weekend about NASCAR. I'm going to be picking your brain a little bit more about the race coming up this weekend. And never know, I might be able to finally get some NASCAR Heat 5 of my own and get a couple of practice runs in before our next trip.
Hey, Matt Prier of the Columbus Mavericks out there. He's a big-time racing fan there and a big-time racing broadcaster. You ever need some guys in the booth, man, Dan K has somehow during this quarantine picked up NASCAR, man, and he is firing on all cylinders with it. And, Lucas, with NASCAR in mind, I got to go to an organization that always puts together lightning speed, all right? These guys are a Hemi engine. These guys are rolling. They are absolutely firing past people. And this season, Lucas, what did I say last week about this Tampa Bay Juniors team? I said, if they can get out of the gates fast one of these years, and this year in particular, watch out, because every year by the end of the season, they look like the best squad out there, and they really work their way up with that youth and speed and talent out there. Well, guess what? Week one shows up, and the Tampa Bay Juniors were scoring touchdowns with extra points. 3 of their 4 games in between the Elite and Premier with 7 goals. The one where they didn't, only 5, Lucas. What happened in Tampa?
Well, the Tampa Bay Juniors got out of the gate fast, Dan. I mean, folks who watch the show know that we've been an advocate for the program, that I've had a soft spot for this Juniors team going back to their Elite Nationals run 2 years ago. I love this squad. I love this organization, and I love to see them get out of the gate early. I hopped on Hockey TV Friday night, and what do my eyes see but beautiful junior hockey back, and the way the Tampa Bay Juniors were flying up and down the ice, the coordination, the skill. They looked extremely crisp, Dan, and I think the numbers come out to show it, especially on the elite side. It's a name that fans are familiar with. It's Ryan Bahula, who in 2 games had 4 goals, 1 power play goal. This kid was absolutely dancing his way to the net. He's got all the moves to get past the defenders, and he sure showed it this weekend. And then, Dan, you go to the premiere, and they even had a ton of stats up there as well. We always say that Tampa Bay Juniors are a mix of the veterans and this new young core that always comes in. Every year, it's always this mix of the old school guy and then the rookies. Well, right now, I think it's the old school guys that stuck around, that are still here, that are driving this force. Stanley Lucas, 6 points in 2 games, 3 goals and 3 assists, 2 power play assists as well. Veteran-led, backed up by youth. Tampa Bay Juniors, watch out.
Yeah, and one of the names that I was paying attention to at the Elite here, a guy I watched a little bit of this weekend, that's right side defenseman Tyler Cullen. And I'll tell you what, this guy, I'm not going to go back to my British accent and bring back the Edward Cullen, all right? I'm not going to do that. But this guy, man, is an absolute caped crusader and making things happen on both ends of the ice. 4 apples for the young man this weekend. This guy's going to be called Johnny Appleseed by the end of the season if he keeps up this pace. 4 big-time assists, none of them coming on the special teams play, man. This is an even-strength hero. This is a year 03, a rookie with this Tampa Bay Juniors side who immediately made his presence felt with authority. A Calvin Nuke-Lelouch weekend out of Tyler Cullen. If you want to see more about the Tampa Bay Juniors, you want us to talk more about them on this show, guess what? You got to, after this, head over to the audio podcast, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you can find it. Just dropped yesterday. The Dan K Show presents junior hockey with Coach Garrett Stroh, one of the best beauties in the game of hockey, Lucas.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a great conversation with Coach Stroh, and you've heard him on the show before, and we finally get a chance to talk to him in this bit of an extended format. So if you're a Tampa Bay Juniors fan, or if you're an opponent of the Tampa Bay Juniors, maybe trying to get any little nugget of information to stop this early season onslaught, head over to anchor.fm/DKS-hockey or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. Search Dan K Show Presents.
Now, Lucas, the Dan K Show has to present one of the newcomers to the USPHL. This is that Mountain Division, and the Northern Colorado Eagles sailed to the top of the standings in the opening weekend. A 3-game sweep of a difficult to beat, difficult to deal with, large and in charge Ogden Mustangs side. And the Northern Colorado Eagles, man, they have made a statement weekend to start the season. 2 big-time W's. Ogden kind of bounced back. They were on the ropes, took them into OT on the final day of the weekend. A little Sunday surprise from the Northern Colorado Eagles. How about hanging a 3-game sweep on you and bringing out the brooms?
Yeah, Dan, the Northern Colorado Eagles, they really had their work cut out for them this weekend against Ogden. We know the Mustangs have had a long and storied successful past, but don't let this sweep fool you, because Ogden put up quite a bit of muscle, quite a bit of effort, and a lot of skill out there on the ice this opening weekend. It's just that the Eagles matched up with the Mustangs. This was going to be high flying. We knew there was going to be a ton of skill, a lot of sparks flying. And I think one of the guys who made some sparks fly for those Northern Colorado Eagles, Dan, was Nicholas Sampson.
Yeah, Nicholas Sampson. Lucas, do we make the announcement here?
Well, for the folks that are eagle-eyed, and you've been on DanKShow.com and you've seen the announcements, Nicholas Sampson was our premier player of the week. So if you haven't seen that announcement yet, what are you doing? First of all, it's been everywhere. It's been all over social media. But if you don't have DanKShow.com bookmarked, you should, because that's where how you'll figure out where we're going to be next. That's how you'll figure out who the players of the week was. You'll see content. You have access to our store and our contact form to let us know where you think we should be next. So if you're not there, you should get there, bookmark the page, and you can read about Nicholas Sampson's weekend.
I go to that website as well to find out where I will be next, because Dan K does what we call a poor job at scheduling himself places, and he relies heavily on others to schedule him on where he's going. I am a sheep, Lucas. I am but a sheep, and I am herded to where I must go. You are said sheepdog. You get me there if I would be eaten by wolves if it weren't for you getting me to these events.
We just have to escort you places. Eventually, we're just going to strap some horse blinders on you so you can't get distracted.
I do get a little bit scared, too, if I see other Dan K's running around. I tend to get a little skittish. But Nicholas Sampson, your Dan K Show Premier Player of the Week. A huge weekend for him. 3 goals, 3 assists, 2 points per game for the young man. A 2-assist game to start it, a 1-goal, 1-assist game, a 2-goal game after that, Lucas. He did it in all ways, all shapes, all sizes. This is a guy who played a big role, a game-winning goal this weekend. He has done it all. You look down the list here and you look at Brennan McFarland. How about an assist-getting machine? 5 assists on the weekend for Brennan McFarland. And this is a guy, 1 goal, 5 assists, got involved heavily. And he's one of the older guys in the squad, a veteran with that veteran leadership who went out on opening weekend and led by example, which is so important. Then Quinn O'Reilly, no luck of the Irish needed here for this centerman who had 3 assists himself. This is a team that's passing the puck in bunches. The puck movement was crisp. It was smart team play. And to come out of the gates, out of quarantine, limited ice time, an odd offseason, crazy offseason, and to jump on the ice, Lucas, and move the puck the way this Northern Colorado Eagles team did right out of the gates. You could tell Ogden was starting to get their skates under them by Game 3 there. Game 3 got physical. They tightened it up. They closed down those passing lanes a bit more, made it tougher on the Eagles. But this was an Eagles team that they needed no time to get going. They wheels were churning immediately, and this is a team you don't want to play early on the docket.
No, absolutely not. And I think you're right, Dan. We saw what Ogden was able to sort of pull together towards the end of that series, and the defense always comes first, right? Because the defensive aspect is, not to say it's a little bit easier, but it definitely comes together before the offense does because it's reactionary, right? You put yourself in a position to succeed, you follow through on the plays. The defensive aspect comes first. And we saw that for Ogden towards the end of the game. But that offensive onslaught that the Eagles put on, I mean, that to see that right out of the gates, out of this particular offseason, is extremely encouraging for fans of the Northern Colorado squad. Early to say if this is the team to beat right now, Dan, far too early. That's a far too early prediction. Way too early predictions we're okay with. Far too early prediction, I'm not in the business of that.
I love far too early predictions, Lucas. We're only 2 weeks away from our first Power Rankings episode, and this Northern Colorado Eagles team could be pretty far towards the top. These Mountain Region folks have not watched the Dan K Show Power Rankings yet with one of their squads in it. Will they be the first Mountain side to top the Dan K Show Power Rankings? You'll have to watch. That's in 2 weeks. Lucas, the net minding this weekend was great from this Eagles side. Ulrich Roussel, he played 1 game, had 40 stops on 40 shots, faced a perfect showing for him in a shutout performance. Then Riley Tucker riled him up. He allowed just 2 goals on 53 shots attempted. He has a 1 goals against average and a .962 saves percentage. And again, this is an Ogden team that is going to compete for a title out there in the Mountain. An incredible weekend. Can't wait to see more from this side. But now it's time to turn to North Carolina. And these teams raised up and they twisted their shirts around their head like a helicopter. That's an old school song from way before any of these young players were born. It was a song, I think, in the late 90s, maybe the early 2000s. I am unsure who sang it, but they would sing about North Carolina raising up. I'm sure somebody knows it out there. But these 2 squads, the Carolina Junior Canes, the Charlotte Rush, showed up and showed out. What a weekend for both of them. I got to start with the Charlotte Rush. My boys, Lucas, my boys. I made a way too early prediction. I said, these guys are going to raise the cup. I said, they're an absolute wagon. I said, I think last year I said 19 in a row. I think this year it could be 20 in a row at some point this season. Why not open the season with that mark? 13-0. This weekend against a Potomac Patriots side that is going to be difficult to deal with, I guarantee you. 2 netminders make 2 separate starts and put up 2 incredible performances. David Battisti with the shutout, and then, it's just Trip Clark coming in and also putting it up too. I mean, what a weekend for these 2 netminders, Lucas, allowing a goose egg over 2 games.
Yeah, you can't get any better than that, Dan. I mean, that's what you search for. It's that elusive perfection, not just in one game, not even just with one goaltender. This should be worrying for the rest of the teams in the Southeast. This is not a good thing if you're any team except for the Charlotte Rush. The Charlotte Rush right now are in the driver's seat after this opening weekend. I mean, you talk about the efforts on the part of the defense, right? And we know how good Trip Clark is in net as well. but the offense too, to put up that many goals against the Potomac Patriots team that had a resurgence last year and came in confident into this season. This is a Charlotte Rush team who is, I think, designed even more for that offensive attack. Getting to watch some of that footage, I don't even know if they knew they also had a defensive side of the ice. I'm pretty sure they thought that it had broken through, it had flooded, they couldn't skate there, and the only place they were allowed to be was in the neutral zone.
They absolutely dominated, man. They look great. And a guy that I'm coining today, right now, Lucas, on the spot, the human drum roll. It's Ethan DeMumbrum. And this guy, brum-bum, put pucks in the back of the net, man. 3-goal, 2-assist weekend for Ethan DeMumbrum, the human drum roll, because he is going to be absolutely making big-time announcements in the back of the net. Everybody, come see how good I am. I have breaking news. Ethan DeMumbrum, man, made his statement known this weekend. Then you go to a familiar face in Shane Hemmer, who had a 4-assist weekend from the right wing position. You look at Alex James, another new face, their 3-goal, no-assist game. You look at Anthony Vidrick, man, 2 goals, 1 assist. This Rush team are built at the elite and the premier level. They're absolutely built to win today. Watch out. Run away. They are a freight train, Lucas. You do not want to get caught on the tracks when the Charlotte Rush come to town, because they are going to win hockey games in bunches. I will not stop saying it. What an offseason by the Charlotte Rush. Adam Knowles in the elite, you move to that side, 2 goals, 1 assist. You look at it on both ends. James Tilley, Blake Witkowski, who's a human truck, man. That guy's a wagon on his own. I am so excited about what the Rush have put together and cannot wait to see what they do.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting watching the Rush this season. And, Dan, another team that people should have their eyes on are these Carolina Junior Canes, because, this is a team that came into the league last season, immediately hit the ground running, and then almost immediately caught the injury bug and spent most of the season trying to shuttle guys back and forth while their injured guys recovered. And they made a push at the end of the year. Well, they're making their push at the beginning of the year right now. In the elite, they split the weekend 1-1, but you got to give it up to Chase Williams, our elite player of the week, with a little bit of a hat trick. Also cracked that top 5 goals of the week video that you can see over on the Dan K Show YouTube page. That'll be up on the website as well. We're everywhere, Dan. You can click links from everywhere on the internet and find our content.
I didn't even know we did top 5 goals. That's not good. Ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on your product. You want to keep an eye on it.
You got to watch them, otherwise they'll just start getting into a whole bunch of trouble.
Surprise!
But this Junior Canes team, even in the Premier, you look at the Premier side of things, Dan. They went undefeated on the weekend, 2-0, 7 goals for, 5 goals against. So not the same kind of a dominance that you saw with the Charlotte Rush. But I think you have to be encouraged by what you're seeing early on, especially in the elite, with some of the offensive talents they've had, but the ability of the Premier team to hang in those tight games, to hang close with their opponents, to be able to make the defensive stops that are necessary. I think I'm excited to see where this Junior Canes team can put themselves in that first power ranking, especially considering that what we saw last year was once that gap in the Southeast hit, once that dividing line sort of created itself, it was very, very tough to overcome even 4 games, even 6 to 8 point deficits, just because those teams are so good.
Yeah, teams tend to run away with it at that point. They just keep tacking on points. They head out to showcases. They win games in bunches. You're playing the toughest talent every night, man. It's such a great place to develop out there. And you look at the 2-game series with the Hampton Roads Whalers. You go to Hampton Roads at the Premier level, and you win 2 one-goal games back-to-back days to open the season. That's a statement, man. That is next-level stuff. It is hard enough to beat the Hampton Roads Whalers on the road. It's hard enough on neutral ice. It's hard enough if they got injuries. This is a team that doesn't lose. And you go into Hampton Roads, into a place, an arena there with limited capacity at the time because of everything going on, but still, folks in the crowd, some noise going on, a little bit of that home ice environment, Lucas, and you get 2 W's. You get an overtime victory in game 2 there to close out the weekend. You couldn't be happier. And honestly, this is going to be a team that's going to challenge that squad in Charlotte all year long. And Charlotte has looked so tough. Ethan Hopp, who put him over the top in game 2, I rhymed that by accident. That was pretty cool. I'm going to stop right there and let everyone know that wasn't planned out. But Ethan Hopp, I mean, he gets Jacob Schnapp there to give him the little peppermint pass, and Jacob Wiedemann, who finds his man there, and Ethan Hopp puts it home, an OT winner 3 minutes into it. This is a team you have to watch out for. They are the depth down here in this division. And Lucas, there's a Deadpool villain in net still. One of my favorites, Jared Cable. And this Cable is dangerous, man. He is absolutely dangerous. He is gunning for you in net. He's not afraid to face high shot totals, low shot totals. He plays the angles correctly. This is a guy in Jared Cable that if scouts are not looking at yet, they're going to be all season long with his Carolina Junior Canes team. Make sure you check out Jared Cable. You got to have your eyes on this guy in net.
Yeah, I mean, aside from having all the tools you want to see in a goaltender, he's mentally tough. I mean, we've seen him in a couple of games maybe give up an early goal or a goal that he would later come up to us and say, oh, that first one was pretty soft, wasn't it? But then those goals happen. And what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to right the ship, right? You need to be able to kind of lock it down mentally, get yourself back in the zone, and play goaltender for the rest of that game. And we've seen him elevate himself in those situations when his team is needed the most.
There's so much returning talent on this Junior Cane side. It is going to be so difficult to deal with all season long. I can't wait. Make sure you're tuning in 2 weeks for the Dan K Show's Power Rankings. And make sure you tune in every week because it's the best show in junior hockey. And we go to the best segment in junior hockey now, Lucas. We've talked through the Premier. We've talked through the Elite. We've run through it all. It's time to close out the show we always do with the Empty Net. We'll be back with the Empty Net right after this break.
Welcome to the Empty Net.
Welcome to the Empty Net, Dan K Show fans. This week, we take a little bit of a turn here in the Empty Net, and rather than talking to you, the fan at home, we talk to you, the fan at home, about a coach who is, and I know Lucas would attest for this, not just that we tweeted it ourselves, not just the best person in the game of hockey, but one of the best people on the planet Earth, man. This Ryan Frew. We just want to say that we have you in our thoughts and prayers here at the Dan K Show. We are keeping you in mind. We are fighting with you. #FrewStrong on social media. You'll see that through the New Hampshire Monarchs Twitter, Facebook, Instagram pages. If you want to follow along with the latest updates on Coach Frew, you can follow along there. Lucas, I mean, we love Coach Frew through and through, and we know he's a battler, and we can't wait to see him back and better than ever.
Yeah, it's it was certainly tough to see, from the Monarchs page, sort of giving everyone the updates that he had been flown to the hospital, and at this point we're kind of with them, with Narcs Nation and all the fans and all the players, all the alumni. We have some friends who are billets up there, and the Monarchs fans feel like a second family to us, the Dan K Show, with how well they've treated us, which extends their coaching staff and Coach Frew as well. So. We are just pulling for him in this situation. We are hoping for a speedy recovery for Coach Frew, and that that we can go back to chirping his team, hopefully at some point soon, Dan.
We love Narcs Nation and Coach Frew again. Love Coach Frew. I mean, just he was our first guest in the audio podcast here, Lucas, and we just the way he looks at it all and the way he helps his players and cares. And it's time for us to care for Coach Frew. And #FrewStrong if you want to show your support. Go to the Monarchs pages. That's New Hampshire Monarchs. That's JR Monarchs CR for their community relations page. You can find some information on how to help out the Frew family right now through this trying time and show your support. We ask you just to keep Coach Frew in mind here over these next few days. And that's really, I think, Lucas, where we close this week's show out. The hockey's back. We hope that you are all healthy, safe, and watching along with us all season long on Hockey TV. We'll be out at a rink near you very soon. Power rankings coming up. Let's get back at it. Let's get back to it and bring the world some hockey. We know that we are going to be giving it our absolute all season long. No parting words from Lucas. From me, again, I just ask you all, be safe, be spaced, wear that mask, because that's how we get through this season, is by being safe, healthy, and smart. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. Remember, you can follow on with Elite Junior Profiles at elitejrprofiles.com. Proud partners of the Dan K Show. USPHL.com to check out that United States Premier Hockey League, the premier hockey league in junior hockey.